On the 18th, November the 18th, I believe it was, there was an article on, I believe it was either the Times of Israel or IsraelNationalNews.com. Can't remember which. I have it up here. I'll pull it up in a minute. That it was on Sunday. Yes, that this peace deal of the century of Donald Trump's is supposed to be announced. In other words, a date for it was supposed to be announced sometime this week. But there were conflicting reports. They didn't know whether they wanted to announce it now or not because Israel had a government conflict. It appeared the government was collapsing. The coalition government was collapsing, and somehow Benjamin Netanyahu pulled a hat trick and managed to maintain a majority in his coalition, and thereby the election would be moved to 2019. And this was caused by the Hamas and Islamic Jihad firing nearly 500 missiles at Israel. So what I want to do is I want to share the article, and please pardon me as I'm learning how to do this screen sharing business. All right. So let's go to, it's on IsraelNationalNews.com. Report, Trump to decide on deal of the century released this week. And this, like I said, it was on November the 18th, on Sunday. President Donald Trump is set to decide this week when the administration will begin the rollout of the much anticipated Middle East peace plan, dubbed the deal of the century by the president. The plan would include a framework for final status talks, ultimately leading to an agreement between Israel and the Palestinian Authority. According to a report Sunday evening by Channel 10, which cited senior American officials, Trump scheduled to meet with senior administration officials this week to settle on a date for the plan's release. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and the U.S. Ambassador to Israel, David Friedman, who flew back to Washington recently to take part in the meeting, are among the senior administration members who will sit down with the president to plan out the deal of the century rollout. National Security Advisor John Bolton, Senior White House Advisor Jared Kushner, and Special White House Envoy Jason Greenblatt are also expected to take part of the meeting with the president. President Trump is reportedly anxious to unveil the plan as soon as possible and still eyeing a December 2018 release. Now, remember, on Sunday, there was a, how do I put this? There was a question as to whether or not Benjamin Netanyahu would be able to hold on to his coalition government. And if he wasn't able to do so, they would have been forced to put off this peace plan announcement probably for another year. But since Benjamin Netanyahu has retained his coalition government, now you see, and I'm pretty sure they'll probably do this as soon as they can to avoid it going, not waiting until 2019. And of course, I'm thinking about this, and I think about Haggai 2 verses 20 through 22, where the 24th day of this ninth month is mentioned, which is the first day of Hanukkah. This year would be December the 2nd. How interesting. We shall see. But the problem that caused all this controversy is told in Jerusalem Post here. This is a very interesting article here. Now, this guy, Mladenov, this guy constantly speaks against Israel, is constantly against Israel. Yet, UN's Mladenov hints that Iran is trying to spark Gaza war, or was trying to spark a Gaza war. He says these forces out there that want to disrupt that agreement and push us into the abyss of a confrontation. A top UN official hinted that Iran attempted to force Hamas and Israel to go into another war. You see. So even they know who was behind this. And this, I'm telling you, was the reason. And as I pointed out in a previous video, Benjamin Netanyahu had to show Naftali Bennett's Rabbi classified information in order for that Rabbi to tell Naftali Bennett to stay in the coalition. And so we're getting bits and pieces of information showing that Iran is actually trying to start the great conflagration in the Middle East. And believe me, there will be a great conflagration in the Middle East. Now, there's another article somewhere. I believe Putin is trying to negotiate with Israel a return of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, and having Iran leave Syria. Let's see, Putin. Putin offers to remove Iran Here we go. Putin floated a deal to remove Iran from Syria for sanctions relief. And beforehand, Vladimir Putin and Russians said we can't remove Iran from Syria, and now they want to renegotiate the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, you might say, or maybe the way to look at this is that the Russian president is threatening the United States and Israel that they will leave Iran in Syria if they don't provide sanctions relief to Iran. I think that is probably the better way to look at it. Now, I noticed a few things. They may be meaningful, they may be meaningless. Our oil prices are actually pretty low right now, fairly low. And yet, President Donald Trump is trying to push them lower. Look at this article. Thank you, Saudi Arabia. Falling oil prices, a big tax cut for Americans, Trump says. Now, he's got to understand that, falling oil prices also hurts American oil companies, the frackers and all of them as well. So is obviously it is true. It is like a big tax cut for America. However, is there something else going on? Is there some other underlying situation going on? Because you see, when war breaks out, oil prices always go up higher. And apparently, when President Donald Trump asked Saudi Arabia to help bring oil prices down, they complied. Who knows what kind of information has been shared between the two governments? And then look at this, folks. Isn't this interesting? I will go ahead and play this, and you can see the tanks, and they are not in desert color. They are in that camouflage green color.
Hey, y'all, this is your boy, B. Carter. I'm over here in Metairie, Louisiana at a Walmart, right where the Huey P. Long Bridge is, and there are tanks, as far as the eye can see, going across the Huey P. Long train track bridge. I mean, come on, y'all. Where are they going with this? Are they going to the Mexican border? Are they going, I mean, where are they going with it? Man, come on. Tanks, as far as the eye can see, these are different tanks. These are like green tanks. They're usually painted in like a tan color. But this show, Bobby Carter, I had to make this video real quick. I'm gonna post it for y'all. But man, this ain't good. This ain't good. Right now it's November, it's Sunday. Man, this is something else, y'all.
The 18th.
This your boy B. Carter, y'all.
Okay. So, very interesting, isn't it? Now there are reports. This guy, he thinks they're going to Mexico, or maybe going to Venezuela or someplace like that. But there are reports that these tanks are heading north. Now, I don't know where they're heading. I don't know anything about this, but I just do find this this video interesting. So we will wait for this peace plan. Let me see if I can bring myself back online here. And folks, as I said many times before, the peace plan might not mean anything. As I said as is written in 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 3, it just says, "One day shall say peace and safety." It doesn't say anything about some sort of peace agreement. There's not going to be any peace agreement that's going to be signed that's going to be like Neville Chamberlain and Adolf Hitler. It's nothing like that. It's just one day shall say peace and safety. And we should find out something this week. So keep your eyes open and your ears. Be careful. Watch the first day of Hanukkah, like it says in Haggai 2. Mark a calendar for that, because something could happen this year on that date. Don't know if it will, but something could.